Cai opened his eyes only to see all around fire. The flame is red. Crazy. To devour the little house you've lived in since childhood. He felt the heat scorching his flesh. The smell of burning wood and black smoke filled the lungs. It makes you choke. Running no way out. You don't know what happened. I just remember coming home after a long day. There was a loud explosion and fire covered it all. It's painful, the heat creeps into every cell. It's burning your consciousness. Before losing consciousness, the last image you saw was a bright flame, reflected in his own desperate eyes. When Kai opened his eyes again, you're no longer in the ashes. It's in a strange forest. No fire, no pain. Only the sky is blue. And the sun's soft rays pierced through the trees. What happened? He muttered, but as soon as he raised his hand, a fire from the palm of your hand. The boy jerked back. But the fire doesn't burn you. It's floating on your skin like a living thing. Warm and pleasant. It's like it's a part of you. You died in the fire, and now the fire is the thing. Welcome to this world. The days after that, Kai gradually realized that you're not just transported to another world. You've been given the power to control fire. You can summon fire from your body, adjust its temperature and shape at will. The fire doesn't hurt you. It even heals minor wounds for you. While learning about this world, he encounters a group of mercenaries hunting him. A young girl. She has long silver hair and blue eyes. Are being cornered by men in armor. Anyone who stands in the way of the hunters will pay the price. One shouted. Kai did not intend to intervene. But seeing the girl's desperate eyes, something in you rises up. The fire burned violently around Kai's body. In the eyes of the enemy. Like a demon from hell. You want to fight. Let's see if Sky has a cold smile. Your hands are tight. And a giant fireball forms above it. The fire that took your life. This is your most powerful weapon. The burning fireball rushed towards the mercenaries. Forced them to jump back. The leader of a tall man. With black armor and a giant axe. Look at him with cold eyes. Someone who uses firebending. NDT0, but don't think you can fight us. He threw his axe to the ground, creating a powerful shock. The ground shook immediately, dodging to one side. You realize these mercenaries are not ordinary. The silver-haired girl screams, "Watch out." He is Garrett. One of the 5 captains of the hunters. The Garrett roared and swung the axe again. This time it's a slash that carries shock waves. Kai hurriedly summons a firewall to stop the attack. But the power of Garrett is too great. Shock waves break through the firewall and send you flying away. Cai rolling on the ground. I can feel my body hurting. But instead of panicking, you get excited. This is the first time. You're actually fighting a strong enemy. He stood up, the fire around his burning body. Stronger than ever. Tighten your fist. Focus all your energy on your hands. The fire transforms into a sharper form. Like a flaming sword. You're coming at incredible speed. Creating a long trail of fire in the air. Ga finally sprayed axe support blow. But as soon as the axe touches the fire, he welled up in pain. The metal is heated to the point of burning. Force him to drop his weapon. It's impossible. He looked at the scorched hand. Kai didn't miss the opportunity. He caught the fire in his hand and threw a powerful punch into the Garrett's chest. The fire broke out at the moment. The exposed fist creates an explosion that sends the Garrett flying away. The mercenaries were stunned. I watched my boss get killed in a few minutes. Some panicked people run away. The rest of you get down on your knees. The silver-haired girl walked in. Look at the boy with admiring eyes. Who are you? The boy dusted his clothes with a confident smile. Just someone who has just set foot in this world. The white-haired girl introduced herself as Ela. A shaman on the run from the hunters. She's wanted for possessing an ancient form of magic that the nobility craved. Kathy is curious about the world and decided to accompany Ella to find out more. Along the way, Ella explained the world's magical system. There are many different types of elements. And fire is one of the most powerful elements. But also difficult to control. You're surprised. When I saw Kai using fire skillfully. Even if you just came to this world. You really don't know anything about magic. Elara asked her, suspicious or not at all. I just feel it in me. It's like it's a part of me. Elara was silent for a moment and then whispered. Maybe you're not a normal person. Even though he defeated the carrot. Kai and Ela still can't escape the pursuit of the hunters. A group of assassins were sent to kill them both. One night they were resting in a forest. A masked man appears to radiate powerful gas. Kai, get out! Ella screamed, but it was too late. The assassin moves as fast as lightning. He attacked Kai with a sharp knife. However, before the blade touches the body, a wall of fire that lets the attacker get away. Kathy looked at him and he was just in time. I want to test my strength. The war continues. This time he is a much stronger man. The assassin uses an opposing form of dark magic. Completely with Kai. All of his attacks were sharp and unpredictable. But Kay gradually realized that darkness can be burned by strong flames. After a fierce battle, Kay burned down the entire surrounding forest. Forced the enemy to show up. A precision fire punch that ended everything. Look at the killer lying motionless on the ground. Ella is amazed. You really don't look like anyone I've ever met. Laughing, we still have a lot of work to do. Let's go after long days of running away. Kai and Ela finally reach the city of Isept, where you can both take refuge. As soon as you set foot in the gate, I realized that this world is much more dangerous compared to what you imagined. Isept is a bustling city, with the streets full of passers-by. The shops are busy selling all kinds of goods, from weapons, armor to the glowing magic stones. But hidden under the glitter, it's an underworld, full of bounty hunters, assassins and criminal organizations. Kai and Ela walk into a small inn, where according to Ela, someone will help them hide their identity. A middle-aged man with a long scar on his cheek. Realize Ela immediately. You are still alive. The hunters are going to reward your head. Ella's got a shoulder. I know that. I need a place to stay for a few days. The man lowered his voice and glanced at the boy. Who is this kid? My companion. Ela answers concisely. The owner frowned but then nodded. Okay, but don't make trouble. But it's not that simple. When Kai and Ella had settled down in their boardroom, a group of mercenaries ambushed outside. Metal VA touch sound echoed. When a group of warriors in black rushed into the room. Not in time to react. Ela creates a thin barrier to stop the first attack. Cai gritted its teeth. The fire in the person flared furiously. He swept his hand, creating a fire that repelled the soldiers. This kid is not an ordinary person. One of them shouted. Don't give them a chance to fight back. Kai Lao comes at lightning speed. He threw a flaming kick at the nearest person. Make him fly straight into the wall. Ilara doesn't stand still. She recited the summons. The sharp ice spears. Shoot the rest of the soldiers. The whole room was lit up by two contrasting magic rays. Fire and ice. After a while of fighting, enemy corpses strewn all over the floor. But when Kai thought it was over, a stronger man appears. Captain of the mercenary team. The one known by the title is the Dragon Hunter. The Dragon Hunter is a notorious warrior who has destroyed countless legendary creatures. He was wearing a shiny black armor. My cold eye staring at Cai. Your fire is pretty strong. But you're still not qualified. Cai does not respond. You just feel the fire rising in the bloodstream. Dragon Hunter draws a giant sword, swinging down. A shock wave coming straight towards the Cai. You turn around dodging. But the sharp sword still grazed his shoulder. That's a pretty deep cut. Squinting eyes and a smile. But I'm not that easy to beat. You clenched your summons fist. A brilliant fire covered the entire arm. A punch plunged straight into the Dragon Hunter's sword. make a big explosion. The battle between the two really begins. Fire and steel va touch emit bright flashes. Kai grinds his teeth. Try to keep the fight going before the dragon hunter's continuous attack. His giant sword, carrying the power of terror. Every slash, it creates air that cuts through the ground. Kai stepped back, his eyes glowed with determination. If I can't burn that sword, I will burn the one who holds it. You burst into flames, creating a whirlwind of fire that rolls around my body. At an astonishing speed, Kai Lao arrived. Throw a fiery punch straight into the opponent's chest. The dragon hunter was pushed back a few steps. But he just laughed softly. NDT0, but it's not long enough to beat us. He just finished swinging his sword again. This time it's a straight line, carrying with crushing strength. Boys roar explosively. The flame from the hand directly stops the blade. The heat from the fire made the sword flutter. Cracked every little crack. Ella's behind the mantra. Prepare for a deadly attack. Ela completes her magic, summoning a giant column of ice from the ground, straight into the dragon hunter. Fuck him back, but it was too late. Kai took the opportunity to jump into the air, turn in the air, and unleashed a powerful firepower, glued straight to the dragon hunter's head. A giant explosion of fire broke out, engulfed the arena in bright light. When the smoke cleared, the dragon hunter fell. Kai breathed heavily and Ela gripped her cane. We need to get out of here before the reinforcements arrive. They both quickly left the battlefield, deep into the heart of the erased city. After the battle, Kai and Ela to find a safe haven underground, where there are rebels against the CAI regime of the city lord. Here they meet an important person, a mysterious old man named Paris. He used to be a royal magician. Paris looked at Kai for a long time and laughed softly. I know who you are. You don't belong in this world, do you? Kai was stunned. He knew where I came from. Sao. Paris nodded. More than one person has been here. From another world. And they've always had a big role in the fate of the world. Kai and Ela are silent. What this means is, there are other reincarnators besides Kai. If you really want to find out why, to this world, let's go north. There's a mystery about your own power. Paris said. Kai clasped his hand. You know you can't stand still. The journey to the north is not easy. Kai and Ela across the wilderness, where the ancient monsters are hidden. One night while resting by the stream, Kai can feel it. There's something different in my body. The sudden pain hit Lan all over him. The fire in Kai's hand suddenly turned black. The dark sparks shoot out all around. Ela panic. Ika. What's going on? Kai roared. His eyes turned bright red, all covered in black flames. There's a low voice in your head. You can't hide from me. I have been here since you came into this world. Ilara quickly recited the mantra. Create a seal ring around Kai. But when your magic touches you, the fire is immediately consuming it. Kai collapsed into a deep breath. A nightmare has just begun. After last night's incident, Kai decided to look for answers. You and Ela continue your journey. But there's someone watching them remotely. A masked man with cold eyes. In his hand was a sword with an ancient symbol. Ilara whispered. Sky. We are being watched. It didn't take long for the stranger to leap out of the darkness. Attack with incredible speed. Kai swung his hand, creating a firewall. But Kia's sword cut through it. Like nothing. Who are you? Kai roared at the stranger and said. You were the chosen one. But can you control the fire inside of you? Or I'll end you right here. CAI grinds its teeth, preparing for a battle for survival. The battle broke out violently. Kai used all his power. But the stranger doesn't flinch. His sword's blows were sharp and precise. Keep pushing Kai on the defensive. In times of danger, Kai could feel the voice in his head. Free me again. Only I can help you win. It's hard, but there's no other option. He closed his eyes so that the black flame would burn. The rage is pouring through your body. And in the blink of an eye he appeared right in front of the enemy. unleashed a powerful black fire. The stranger looked back in wonder. You are that person. It's impossible. He turned and disappeared into the dark. Boy breathing hard. Feel the black flames that haven't completely disappeared. What does this mean? Ilara and Kai continue their journey to the north. They finally arrive in a mysterious village, where there's an old prophet named Myra. When she saw Kai, she was silent and then spoke slowly. You have two flames in you. A light, a darkness. The fate of this world. It depends on your choice, Kai. Kai squeezed his hand, he couldn't turn his head back. Kai and Ela continue their journey to a coastal town called Valoralia. It's famous for warriors. Use water magic. Here they heard a rumor about a female warrior. It is able to control water. He defeated the pirates alone. When Kai came to the harbor, you see a girl with blue hair, sharp eyes. We're dealing with a group of mercenaries. That girl is none other than Aqua. If you don't want to drown, don't poke me, Aqua said and waved her hands. A big wave coming out of nowhere engulfed an entire group of mercenaries. The boys come forward to try to convince Aqua to join the group. But she refused. I'm not following anyone. I only fight for myself. There's no other way. Kai challenges Aqua to prove his strength. The battle took place on the harbor. Water and fire collide violently. Kai is undervalued against Aqua's flexible attacks, but with willpower and creativity in combat. You finally won the war. Aqua looked at the boy in admiration. You can fight me without dying. Okay, I'll join you, but don't expect me to be easy. The next journey led the Kai group to a vast valley of rock, the home of a warrior tribe. They heard about a giant who could control the land. It is so strong that it can crush a mountain just with your fists. Kai goes to the tribal arena and witnesses evil. It's a giant warrior with muscles. They are defeating each opponent easily. Kai challenges the evil duel to prove his worth. The battle was fierce. When evil is constantly creating walls, kick and powerful blow. Each of his punches made the ground shake. Kai is forced to use flexible tactics. Use speed to dodge and seek to defeat the opponent. As the battle nears its end, Kai uses his fire to melt the ground, causing the pressure to lose balance. From there to win. Laugh big, you're strong, kid. Okay, I'll join your group. But remember, we're not following orders. To find the legendary ice shaman, the CAI group headed into the cold northern mountains. Here they heard about a mysterious man. You can freeze an entire army with one glance. On a snowstorm night, when the boys are looking for shelter, a shadow appeared. It's an icer, a guy with eyes as cold as ice, with silvery white hair. Get out of here. Otherwise, you will become an ice statue forever. Who touched coldly said. Kai refuses to leave and is determined to fight. Ice summons a series of ice spears, attacking at an unbelievable speed. Every time Kai tried to approach, you were knocked back by the blizzard that ice created. Realize you can't win by pure power. Kai uses the flame to create a safe space. Stop the blizzard of ice. After a long battle, Kai finally broke through the defense. The frost of the opponent ice sighed. You are strong enough to survive me. Maybe I'll go with you for a while. But don't expect us to be easy friends. Kai's next destination is a city in the clouds, protected by a warrior. Can summon thunder from the sky. He is a swordsman as fast as lightning. With the sword, it can send electricity to any enemy. Touch it. Kai goes to the spandex and challenges. But as soon as the battle begins, Kai was completely overwhelmed. The speed is too fast. The blows are like thunder. Kai couldn't react. Kai is forced to change tactics. Focus on pre-reading the motion of the elastic. An exact counterattack. Finally, with an explosive firepower, Kai defeated Toon. Smiling on the shoulder. CAI. Long time ago. I've just met someone who can handle my speed. Okay, we're in. But remember, I will not forgive you if you are slow. After gathering enough The members of the Kai group began to train. Learn to combine the power of each element. They're going through a lot of challenges to increase engagement. From protecting a village from monsters, to fight the mysterious pursuers. But the darkness is still approaching. A more powerful force. Whatever they've ever faced. Waiting in front. Ready to swallow the world. As soon as you leave the temple, Kai's group is stopped by a mysterious man. A warrior in a black cloak with glowing eyes. Who is the strongest among you? I heard him ask in a cold voice. Kai stepped up to face. The battle immediately broke out. But even though we've woken up to new power, Kai is still completely overwhelmed. This dark warrior has the ability to absorb the element. Make all attacks useless. The group was forced to retreat in a dangerous situation. Realize that they are not strong enough to defeat the enemy. Actually, after 7 defeats to the Dark Warrior, Kai's group decided to split up to train separately. Search for the ultimate power. Before returning to face the enemy, Kai goes to a volcano, where he met an ancient fire dragon. Learn how to control firebending at the highest level. Aqua exploring the sacred spring, where she's training to make attacks. The strongest water. Pressure to a canyon where gravity is altered. Help you improve your ability to control the land. AI to the top of the eternal iceberg 9. Where you learn how to use power. Freezing time. In a moment. Sprayed into the center of a thunderstorm. To train the power of pure electrical control. When the training is over, the whole team is stronger than ever. They know that the next war will decide the fate of the world. The dark forces have begun to act. And they don't have much time. After a long training period, the group returned to the land of darkness. The place has changed completely. The whole sky is covered in dark clouds. The surrounding villages were burned down. And there's only ashes left. A giant dark castle has risen in the center. It radiates tremendous evil energy. When entering the area, they're ambushed by an army of monsters, led by a dark general. This guy is Damon, a dark knight capable of manipulating space. All group attacks. It's all bent and turned against him. The battle was fierce, forcing the group to harness the power of the new element. Wake up to fight. Even though Damon has the advantage of space control, the group realized that his weakness was his strength. To be scattered. When faced with multiple goals at the same time, they decided to coordinate to overwhelm him. The boy uses fire to force Damon to keep moving. Aqua creates waves of water, obstructing the vision of the enemy. Applied to the stone walls. Block Damon's retreat. Ice freezes the ground. Makes it difficult for the enemy to move. To seize the opportunity, he used lightning to strike directly when Damon was younger. Last open. They combine elemental power and launch attacks. They defeated Damon. Force him to retreat. But he left a terrifying message. The great demon king has awakened. As soon as Kai's team wins over Damon, a giant army of darkness. From the castle darkness overflows. Attack all the remaining lands of the human world. Not only that, dark gates are still appearing everywhere. Summon a series of monsters from hell. I see the situation getting worse. Kai's group decided to split up. To protect the lands, Kai and Toon go to the city center. To stop the invasion, Aqua and Ice protect the coastal area from sea monsters. Go to a sacred mountain. To summon the remaining human warriors, Kai and Spin encounter a new enemy. Selfie of a dark wizard. Capable of creating immortal dark entities. All of Kai's attacks were neutralized. Because these entities are constantly reproducing. Elastic detect weakness. The entities of darkness. It requires energy from the subject to sustain it. Kai used the most powerful firebending to burn the entire area. It makes SEO stumble. The opportunity killer. The strongest thunder attack ended him. Aqua and Ice face off against a giant sea monster. Summoned from the deep sea. It's got a tough scale. The ability to create tsunamis and summon hurricanes. Aqua must be steeply sloping to control the water flow, while ice freezes part of the monster's body. Realize that a direct attack is ineffective. Aqua decided to go inside the monster's body, through a small stream of water, as she used the most powerful magic. The sea god's breath shattered its heart from within. Ar finds an ancient warrior tribe on the mountain of heaven. Their heads refuse to help, because this war is hopeless. But when the app proves its power, by preventing a giant mountain avalanche, they accepted and swore allegiance. Lead the powerful army back to the battlefield. Get ready for the greatest battle in history. The CAI reunites with their army. Soldiers from all lands gathered. Prepare for the final attack. Into the castle of darkness, where the great Maya is waiting. But before they could attack, the great demon king acted first. A lump of dark energy explodes from the castle, covering the sky in absolute darkness. A voice echoing through. Then you will never win. The sky was torn apart and a giant entity appeared. That's Abysoft, an ancient creature. It existed before this world was created. The Great Maya is not merely a human being. It's the embodiment of primal darkness. We realize that to beat a fever, they need the power of all the elements combined. But to do so to unite these opposing forces, Selena the Old Witch used to make predictions about them. Appear again and reveal one last secret. If all 5 of them join forces, they can summon holy swords, the only weapon element that can defeat a fever. K's group entered a unified state. Use all of your energy in a single shot. However, Abysoft also launched a full-scale counterattack. A battle between light and darkness. It's the most intense. When the holy sword element appears, K was the one who held it and led the final attack. In the moment of decision, all the elements come together. Creates a giant beam of light through a fever. Tear this evil entity to pieces. The darkness melts the world back to the light. The Kai team won. But they know that peace is temporary. A new era has just begun. And new challenges may arise. At any time. After ABI fever was eradicated, the world is slowly restoring balance. The consequences of the battle are still there. The lands are destroyed. People who lost their families. And the magic imbalance. It makes the weather chaotic. Kay with her team to travel across the land to help rebuild. But they quickly realize that a new power is rising. Some people start to worship a fever and believe that his demise is only temporary. Selena the prophesied shaman summoned the Kai group and reveal a terrifying secret. ABI fever is not completely destroyed. It's just scattered into fragments. Scattered all over the world. If someone collects 10 of these pieces, he can bring them back to life. A mysterious man has started to act. To perform the ritual. Summon ABI fever. One more time. The CAI team must stop this before it's too late. When investigating the man behind the plot to resurrect ABI fever, the CAI team encounters a mysterious organization. It's called the Society of Death. This organization believes that Abysoft is the true god of the world, and trying to get him back. The leader of the group is a masked man named Yaz, an ancient witch. He was the right hand of the great demon king. He's in possession of one of Abysoft's soul pieces, and has absorbed some of the power. From there the Kalan team followed the trail of Yaz and the Reapers to an abandoned old city. This place used to be the magical center of the world, but was sealed off after a disaster. Thousands of years ago. Here they encounter 4 dark wizards, who swore allegiance to Abysoft. Everyone has a piece of soul, and the ability to use ghosts. High-level dark arts. The battle was fierce, but Kai's team managed to defeat 2 of them, and recovered 2 pieces of Abysoft's soul. Although winning, Group K realized that it's also dangerous to collect 10 soul pieces. Each piece carries a curse, and the AI that touches them will be eaten away by darkness. Boy, who came into contact with one of the soul fragments. I started having strange nightmares. In a dream, I find myself swallowed by the darkness. And a voice in my head. You will become me. The next clue leads Kai's group to the Forbidden Island. A place sealed by magic for thousands of years. According to legend, this is where the fever first started. And it could be a place that holds important mysteries about him. Kai's group decides to go to the Forbidden Island. But it's covered in a strong barrier. They have to find a way to break it before the death squads come before them. Trying to get to the Forbidden Island, Kai's group finds out there's a guy in his line of 5. Affected by Abyssof's curse. He began to hear voices from the darkness. And it's getting out of control. The curse is getting stronger and finally, he betrayed the group, stealing one of the soul pieces, and disappear into the darkness. After the betrayal, Kai's group fell into chaos. They don't just have to deal with the death squads. You have to find a way to save your partner. Was possessed by darkness. Selena appeared again. And warned that there's only a short time left before the resurrection ritual A. Fever is complete. If they can't collect 10 soul fragments and seal them, the world will once again be destroyed. Yaz and the Reaper have collected 10. Most of the rest of the soul. And is preparing to complete the ritual of reviving ABI fever. They perform rituals in the Endless Vault. A place deep underground. Where the intersections of the world, people and the abyss of darkness. Kai's group had no choice. In addition to the final battle. To stop the ritual. The final battle took place between the Kai group and the Death Society. During the fighting, Yaz used all his power to complete the ritual. And a giant entity begins to rise from the abyss. Kay and her team went all out to seal it. It's before it's too late. Finally, by combining all the elemental power, they created a permanent seal. Capture the soul of ABI fever. Into another dimension. Yaz was defeated. The Guild of Death dissolves and the darkness is once again driven back. But Group K knows that this danger never completely disappears. A new era has begun. And they have to be ready for the next challenge. Chapter 71, a short piece. After the successful sealing of Abyssoft, the world has entered a period of peace. However, Kai and his team could not rest for long. The wounds of the battle are still there. Even though the Death Order is broken up. But their remnants are still scattered everywhere. Who are loyal to ABI fever. It's still working quietly. Find a way to break the seal again. One day, Selena summons Kai's group and reveals some shocking news. Even though ABI fever has been sealed, a small piece of his soul, still floating in this world. If we don't find it and destroy it, the risk of revival remains. Group Kai decided to split up the investigation into the debris. This last. While investigating, Kai and Aqua are ambushed by a group of strangers. They're not remnants of the Order of Death. It's a completely new organization. Eternal Darkness 9. The leader, a mysterious man with red eyes, claims that he found the Abyssoft wreckage and will use it to create a new genie. After a short battle, Kai and Aqua had to retreat because the enemy was too strong. Back to the base. They receive a strange letter from the Eternal Darkness 9. There was an invitation to a meeting. Even though I know it could be a trap, Kai's group decided to go. Because this might be the only chance to find out where the debris is. Finally, Kai's group arrives at the rendezvous point and meets the mysterious leader. He called himself Jaka, a dark wizard. It's capable of controlling both light and darkness. He offered a deal. If Kai agrees to join the Eternal Darkness 9, he's not going to use the shard to bring ABI back, and instead use it to recreate the world. The boy was faced with a difficult decision. If you fight Jaka right now, he might use the shard to unleash some of Abyssoft's power. But if we work with him, no one knows what will happen. After talking to your team, Kai decides to refuse and prepares for a battle. It's inevitable. As soon as Kai refused, Jakna summons an army of darkness and attack the group. The battle was raging. But in the end, Kai's group was forced to retreat. Because Jaka has so much power. Before he left a warning. Then get ready. Because next time I won't give in. Kai's group returns and plans for the upcoming battle. They realize that without a specific strategy, they're not going to be able to beat Jaka and get the shard back. Selena finally found a way. Can help Kai and his teammates strengthen. But the cost can be huge. Kay and her teammates perform an ancient ritual to unleash their true potential. However, it also makes them face their fears. The deepest part of myself. Gradually they overcome the challenge and gain new strength. Ready for the final battle. The final battle between Kai and Jaka breaks out. With new power. Kai's group can fight him. But Jaka didn't either. Weak. He's using the shard to summon a dark entity. It makes the battle even more chaotic. After a fierce battle, Kay used all her power to beat Jaka and seal the last piece. Forever the world is finally out of darkness. But Kay knows that my journey is not really over. After completing the ancient ritual, Kay's group decided to look for more allies to confront Jaka. According to ancient documents, there's a warrior who can control the trees, living in the deep forest MC. However, this forest is extremely dangerous, with ancient creatures guarding. As we enter the forest, the group is quickly attacked by the giant leopard and dangerous plant traps. MC appears to attack them without asking why. He believes that outsiders are intruders. It destroys the natural balance. The boy must prove that they're not here to destroy. By overcoming the challenges of the forest, help heal an ancient god tree that's sick. The group won MS trust. The last C. He agreed to join. With conditions. They have to protect nature instead of destroying it. It was after recruiting secrets. The group received a rumor about a female warrior. There is the power of light, who can heal wounds and purify the dark magic. Her name is Lai. Living in an ancient temple on top of a heavenly mountain. Group of boys climbing the mountain. But they're stopped by souls. Guard of the temple. They have to pass 3 mental tests. Strength and perseverance. Each challenge. It requires coordination between the members. When we finally got to the temple, they see Lai using his power to stop a dark entity. However, you are exhausted. Group of boys rush in to help, and together defeat the monster of darkness. Light noticed that they had courage and determination. Agree to join. The last person the team was looking for was Hu, a mysterious warrior with the ability to control the darkness. But he's a wanderer, living alone in a criminal city, where power decide everything. When I found Hu, he doesn't believe in the ideals of the Kai group. To convince Hu, Kai challenged him directly to a duel. The battle rages as darkness and VA fire collide each other. Kai eventually won but did not kill Hu. Instead, reach out and offer to cooperate. Hu, I was surprised by Kai's patience and tolerance. Agree to join the group. However, he warned that the power of darkness can be dangerous. If not well controlled, it could engulf the world. After gathering enough new teammates, Group K takes time to train together. Learn to combine the power of each. They have to overcome internal conflict. Get to know each other better and build trust. Each member grows stronger. Learn how to use your power effectively. K. Help make a better control the surrounding trees. Hybrid development of dark purification skills. And who gradually gained control of his dangerous power. After the training, the team is ready for the final battle with Jaka, who holds the fragment of Abyssof's soul. After unleashing the ultimate power, Group K realizes they have the ability to summon the beasts, the element that represents its power. But to do that, they need to perform an ancient ritual to overcome the ultimate challenge of the elements. K was the first to perform the ritual. You walk into a land of boiling lava. where the fire god Ifit is waiting. Ifit is a giant creature with a flaming body, eyes like two deep holes of fire. To get the recognition of Ifit, Kay must defeat it in a mortal battle, while Aqua goes into the deep ocean to face Leviathan, legendary sea dragon, capable of controlling water with unmatched power. To the sacred forest of the Great Golem. Earth's beasts are guarding ancient secrets. The AI found the 9 frozen places where Henry, the giant ice wolf, is sleeping. Climb to the top of a thunder mountain to summon Brazil, the supreme god of thunder and lightning. One by one, they entered a life and death struggle with his elemental beast. Kay has to fight the Ifit with his own fire. Prove that you can control and master the power of destruction. The battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. Kay is constantly pushed to the limit, but you end up using a new trick. The fire god. Make the Ifit subdue and recognize you as the owner. Aqua confronts Leviathan in the middle of the ocean. We're forced to learn how to use water not just to attack, but also to adapt to the natural flow. Evil fights Glenn with perseverance and enduring strength. Ice overcomes Fanri with speed and sharp tactics. Hung suffered the storm of Raijin. To prove myself worthy of the power of thunder. Lightning after successfully summon the elemental beast. Their power reached the top. It's not just the ability to summon beasts in combat. They can even merge with them to enhance superior strength. Jaka didn't sit still at the same time. He's absorbed almost all the power of the shard, Abiath, and is preparing to perform the Dark Rebirth ritual. If the ritual is successful, he will become a powerful entity beyond the elemental beasts. Know that there is no time. Kai's group immediately set out for Jaka's castle. The castle is covered in a dark barrier, where only the AIS have real power. They can move in. On the way, they are constantly hindered by Jaka's most powerful men. Everyone is a mighty warrior, has been corrupted by darkness. Mukas use the power of trees to make their way forward. Public lie. Use light to purify souls. Captured by darkness. While who confronts the dark wizards? By the power of his own darkness. As we go deep into the castle, they are stopped by Jaka's 4 great guardians. The 4 strongest warriors ever. The hero of the world. But was controlled by darkness. Kai and Ice fight Damon, who has the power of ice. But they use it in a brutal way. To freeze all life. Aqua and Shirt fight with Shiver, female warrior controlling the dark plant. Hung fights with Voltist, who used to be the god of thunder, but was turned into a destroyer by Jaka. Meanwhile Zhu and Lai face Noxic, who use both light and darkness to create attacks. It's almost impossible to avoid. The battle was unrelenting. Kai is forced to use all his power, even merge with the elemental beast, to defeat the 4 great guardians. But even if they win, they've lost too much power. Before going into the final battle with Jack Na. When we get to the central hall, they saw that Jack Na had completed the ritual. His power reached far beyond humans. He's no longer a normal dark wizard. That has become Abysoft's reincarnation. The war finally begins. Kai and his teammates join forces, summon their elemental beasts to confront Jaka. But even with the whole, their power kit, Jaka is still too strong. He can absorb any attack and counterattack with the power of absolute destruction. Kai's group is forced to trade everything, uniting their power into a single attack. Ultimate elemental engineering. This attack combines fire, water, ice, thunder, light, darkness and trees. It creates an explosion of energy that wipes out everything. The final blow defeated Jaka. But he hasn't been completely destroyed. To end everything, Kay used all her remaining energy to seal him off forever into nothingness. The battle is over, but the price is too high. Kay ran out of strength and disappeared. After Jaka was defeated, the world returned to peace. Everyone mourns Kai's sacrifice. But suddenly the fire in your heart hasn't gone out. At the last moment, If it animal. He used his power to protect Kai's soul. Help you be born again. A new era begins. And the Kai team continue their journey to protect the world. Ready to face any danger. In the future. After the battle with Jack and the world gradually returned to peace. However, Kai and his team did not stop there. They heard about a mysterious land. Never been discovered. 6 Vimedia. It is believed to be the source of all elements. Many legends say that there are ancient creatures and a power no one's ever touched. In the spirit of discovery, the whole group headed to Remodia. Unbeknownst to them, a new evil force awaits them. To the east coast, where the port shift leads to Remodia. Kai's group is stopped by a mysterious figure. Orion the gatekeeper. Orion warns that anyone who sets foot in these 6 places, they can't go back. By a powerful entity controlling it. Neret, Lord of Eternal Darkness. Kai didn't flinch. Because they beat Jackna. I don't believe that anyone can be stronger. But Orion just smiled. And said that the network is not human. It's an entity that's existed since the beginning of time. If they want to continue, they had to pass his test. Orion creates an arena of darkness, where Kai and his team were separated and forced to face the version, my own reflection, evil beings with the same power as them. Kai must fight the fire, an evil version of yourself. It's capable of controlling black fire. It's a form of fire that can consume the soul. Aqua Snail Ice Spandex. Milligram Line and Deer are in a similar situation. After a fierce battle, they find a way to defeat their evil self. By accepting our own imperfections. Orion finally recognized them. And opened the gate to Remodia. Just arrived at Remodia. The whole group immediately felt the power. The pure element is everywhere. The terrain here is diverse. From the lush green forest, volcanic eruption, to the frozen plains. But the scariest thing is, there's no sign of humans. There are only giant monsters, with power beyond anything they've ever seen. As soon as you set foot, they were attacked by a giant creature. Demo mode fire a monster with the power of destruction. Kai and the team immediately rushed into battle. Demo fire mode in giant size. Body on fire. And it's capable of creating catastrophic lava explosions. Kai's team works together to defeat it. Kai uses fire to confront. Aqua Face. Generates steam. To weaken its lava armor. While ice freezes its feet. To slow down the movement speed. Finally, Kai activates the Beast Fusion. Summon the Ifa to launch a blow. Decided to beat the fire mode Kmo. After the battle, they discovered something scary. Beamos are controlled by some power. Go deep into 6 places. K's team discovered an ancient ruin. Contains records about the network. According to legend, network is an immortal entity, created out of the chaos of the universe. He is the source of all darkness. They even existed before the elemental gods. They've also discovered that Nerets are not alone. He has 4 generals, who are as powerful as Jaka. If you want to beat him, they need to capture the remains of the ancient beasts. To enhance the power, the group splits out to search for ancient beasts. Kai and Ice search for Innes at the top of the volcano. Aqua and Jacket to find hydrogen glass in the deep lake. Thunder and MC search for PK birds on the Thunder Highlands. Lion who find Munich. Creatures capable of manipulating light and darkness. Each group must face with different challenges to get the recognition of these animals. As soon as the ancient gods were captured, Kai's group is attacked by Neret's 4 generals. Arit the Dark Destroyer confronts Kai and Ice. Levios Marking of the Sea confronts Aqua and Rough Clothes. Jack the God of Thunder SA fell with Toon and M. Vina Queen Chaos vs Lion Who. The battles are fierce, forcing the Kai to merge with their ancient beasts. To win. After defeating the 4 generals, they know that Nerets are living in the Castle of Chaos. The place is covered in eternal black fog 9. But the way to get there is not easy. It takes an elemental key to open the gate. Finally, this key is hidden in the ancient element problem, where no one has ever returned to the temple alive. K's group faces dangerous pitfalls and elemental tests. In the end, everyone has to overcome a challenge corresponding to their strength. To the center of the temple, they found the elemental key. But at that moment, a giant entity appeared. Fake guardian of the network. This is the battle. The last battle before they went up against the network. After defeating Neret's fake guardian, the CAI group entered the chaotic castle. Inside the space distorted by the power of darkness. It makes time and reality chaotic. Each one is caught up in an illusion. Forced to face the fear. My deepest fears. K saw again the image of his house on fire. Aqua sees the sea drying up. I can't see myself losing the lightning in my hand. But it's all overcome by will, persistence and support of teammates. As soon as you get out of the illusion, they face the 4 great guardians. The immortals. It's made of the 4 most powerful elements. Innes Fire Ghost of the Sea King Protector. Terra Stone Saint Defi Draws Warrior God. The battle lasted for hours. Each member must do their best. Use coordinated tactics to defeat each of the guards one by one. Finally, like and shout force unleash absolute light. Seal them off forever. There's nothing you can do without the light. Whose voice echoed from everywhere. I don't need the light to beat you. He poured energy into the sword. Optical photo raid. Suddenly Lai disappeared in the blink of an eye. He appeared behind Hu. Throw a slash, thunder and lightning. Hu immediately created a wall of darkness. But still pushed back a few meters. That's good. Hu laughed, but he still hadn't given up. You raise your hands. Summon a dark sword twice as long. Hybrid sword of endless destruction. 2 swords of light and darkness VA collide, creating these intertwined rays of light and darkness. The speed of both attacks is getting faster. Every time the swords touch, it's an energy explosion. Finally Hu stepped back, jump into the air, and gather a huge ball of darkness on top of the darkness. Destroying the orb, plunging at incredible speed. Aim straight at Lai. It's not that easy. Hybrid bite teeth. Put all the remaining energy into the sword. Holy Sword Judgment. A slash of light that cuts through the ball of darkness. Make it explode in the air. The pressure from the explosion sent both of them falling to the ground. They are both breathing hard, but no one gives in. We're going to end this fight with a single blow. Who said I agree? They both stood at the 2 ends of the arena. Concentrate all your power on your weapon. Lai Lao came to the Holy Sword. Oh, and Hu counterattacked with an infinite black sword. 2 attacks touch each other in the middle. It's a giant explosion. The whole arena is rocking. When the smoke cleared, they were both on their knees exhausted. He looked at the 2 and declared the match a draw. Liang and Hu looked at each other and laughed. Give me your hand, too. Hu caught Tai Lai. The battle between light and darkness. It ends with an inconsequential result. They won, but they both understood. They became stronger after this battle. Chapter 124 Finale of Fire and Ice Cave Skies. After a tense match between Likes and Hu. The air in the arena hasn't cooled yet. If the previous battle. It's the balance between light and darkness. This battle will be a tough one. Between fire and ice. The 2 most opposing elements in nature. Kai Fire Warrior. I'm going to fight the Ice Wizard. Both entered the arena with steady eyes. The surrounding crowd was excited. Because this is a match between 2. One of the strongest teams. Kai reached out laughing confidently. We haven't fought in a long time. Who touched his white hair? Blue eyes cold blue oh. I won't let you win this time. The boy raised his hand to summon. A red-orange flame burns strongly. Who touched the ground? Flakes of ice slowly lan ra around him. Form a slippery playing field. Kai wagged his lips ready, Ice just nodded. Kai immediately rushed in first. And the battle officially begins. Kai swinging hands. A giant stream of fire swept across the arena. Long firecracker inflammation. From your hand, a roaring fire dragon rushed straight towards the ice. But the one who touched still calmly stomped. Create a white ice shoe wall in front of you. Great ice shield. The fire dragon crashed against the wall. The steam rose up in the darkness. Cai is not late. Get up in the air and prepare for the next attack. Firestorm paralysis. From the palm of your hand spinning. Creating a fiery whirlwind that burns violently. It's not that easy to touch your lips. Put your hands up. Focusing the magic power on the surrounding air. Extreme violent ice. An icy storm appears. Va collides with Kai's tornado. Both opposing energy sources are twisted together. It's a mixed storm of fire and ice. A powerful explosion ripped through the arena. They are both pushed back on both sides. He landed on the ground with one hand on the floor. Laughing excitedly. That's great, but now is the time to start. The unresponsive touch puts only one hand in the sky. The temperature on the field suddenly dropped. The breathing of everyone around him began to stop. Gathered into white dew. Absolute price. A wide area of frozen LAN. The ground is completely frozen. Cai felt his body start to slow down. Because the cold cuts out. I can't let you take advantage. The boy bit his teeth and summoned all his firepower. Fire DM God armor. A suit of fire armor surrounding his body. Help you resist the cold. The boy immediately jumped into the air. Right hand gathers a giant fireball. Fire god of violence. The fireball fell like a meteorite. Aim directly at the touch. Calmly raise your hand. Long armor tape. Your body is covered in a thick layer of ice. At the same time recall. A giant ice dragon rushed out to catch the boom. The VA hit so hard that the arena shook. When the dust melts away. Both Kai and the AI touched stood breathless. You're as stubborn as ever. Who touched your voice just like you? Kay laughed, her eyes full of determination. Both understand that. It's time to unleash your strongest blow. Kay jumped back. Two flaming hands summon all the fire. God of destruction. From you. A giant fire phoenix appears. Flapping wings. Creating powerful sparks that scorch the sky. Ice did not succumb to the maximum magic summon. A giant column of ice rising from the ground. Cover your body. The eternal ice. From the sky a giant ice dragon appeared. The wings spread out over the sky. They are both coming together at supersonic speed. Fire and frost VA touch. Creating a giant explosion of energy. The arena is divided. Flakes of ice fluttered and the fire went up. After a few seconds, the dust melts away. The boy and Ice were on one knee, both exhausted. Kai laughed, you're so good, Ice. Anyone who touches your lips is not bad. You two hold hands. End the match with a draw. Kai turned to look at everyone laughing. Who will be up next? And everyone laughed. The tournament is still going on. And more attractive battles. Still waiting ahead. After the fight between T-shirt and T-shirt. Next is the battle between Emerka. Plant and Ice Warriors. Frozen Warrior. They are both warriors. It's capable of manipulating nature. A plant handler. A man who holds in his hands the power of snow and ice. When we walked into the arena, it was cold. The white air is all over the place. Due to the ice energy. In the opposite position. Sharp eyes. Put your hands on the ground. So that every plant starts to grow around. Referee hands up to start. As soon as the match begins. AI touch hands up summon. A series of ice noses coming straight down from the air. Emerka continuous ice. The arrows of ice plummeted down at terrifying speed. It can penetrate any object. But the marshal wasn't afraid, he just swung his hand. A magnetic corpus wall. Ground series of giant tree trunks rising up. It's a wall that stands strong in the rain. Sound tape name. VA tape touching wood. Some pieces can pass through. But it's mostly stopped. MCK smiled. Nature is not so easily defeated. Don't let Emerka counterattack. AI stomps its feet on the ground, causing the floor to freeze. Each wide LAN cold air flow. It's slowing down the speed of the emica. Permanent gas welding 9. Cold air seeping into the trees, which causes the branches to freeze. MCK frowned but did not panic. If nature is frozen, we just need to regenerate it. He gripped his hand and poured energy into the ground. Eternal growth. Immediately the ice broke apart. New shoots that grow to absorb the cold turned into strong Lear ropes. MCK swinging the prison carpentry. The leopard cords come wrapped tightly around the AI touch. But the one who touched just smiled. Fossil armor ice. The ice covers the body that the AI touches. Hardened like an immortal suit of armor. That the Lear rope can't be tightened. MCK realizes that this fight can't last. You need a finishing blow. He stomped on the ground and summoned the ancient gods. Giant tree growing in the middle of the arena. Interwoven tree roots cover the entire area. Big Brother punished. From above the giant tree's branches fell. With tremendous power. AI will take a deep breath. Raise 2 hands to the sky. Concentrate all your icy power. Blizzard destruction. Violent snowstorm explodes. It freezes everything in its scope. Oh, you're blurry, you're blurry, you're blurry, you're blurry. 2 power flow VA touch. The whole arena is covered in a hurricane of ice and trees. When the dust cleared, they both knelt down and gasped. The arbitrator declares a tie. The audience burst into cheers. A match of equal talent. Imerka looked at Ice with a smile. You didn't make me 7. Who touched your lips to Imerka? After stressful matches, we all know that there is one final challenge. It's a fight between all the members. To find the strongest. The center arena lit up. The crowd cheered loudly. Kai Aqua Spandex Imerka Ice. Hu and Lai are all in the same ring. Eyes full of determination. Referee hands up high. The battle begins. As soon as the signal rings. CAI was the first shooter. The Fire Lord ruled. A giant pillar of fire flared up, covering the entire arena. But Aqua was able to counterattack the blockade in time. Strong current of water extinguishes the fire. But immediately Lao came from above. Tien Loi carpet. Lightning strikes down like a giant sword. Force Aqua to step back. But when the time came to land, my brain took a leap of faith. Hella pressed. The ground shook violently. The stone walls that separate people. MCK took advantage of the situation and threw its hands in the sky. A world of rage. The giant tree's roots grew and grabbed everyone. To drag them underground. But AI doesn't leave it alone. Extinct amber. The whole arena is frozen. The roots are completely sealed off. Hu and Lai haven't come out yet, Hu. He looked away from his friend. He laughed and they both went into battle. Kai and Aqua fight. But in the end, Aqua uses the technique C of concussion. Kick Kai out of the ring. Hung was stolen by evil with urchins. The seal was tied up and removed from the battle. Ice and Emika fight as equals. But when Ice creates a snowstorm to control the opponent, WHO suddenly came out. Come out of the dark and launch a photo escape. Defeat both in the blink of an eye. There are only 3 people left, Hu, Aqua and Lai. Aqua hasn't given up yet. You are the god of water. But Lai predicted the judgment of heaven. A giant ray of light tore through the tsunami. Defeat Aqua immediately. Now only Huv's slime remains. The battle between light and darkness. Stupid slope all the dark power forbidden. Darkness enveloped the entire arena in darkness. No one can see anything except Lai. You can't beat me in the dark. The deer's voice echoed through the space. But Lai just smiled. We don't need to see. His whole body glowed, ripping through the darkness. Saint of destruction. A bright light enveloped them all. Hu was hit head-on. The body loses all strength and falls to the floor. The judge stepped forward to declare the winner of the Lai internal war. The whole arena burst into cheers. Lai held out his hand to help Hu up. He was much stronger than Hu. Hu smiled slightly and nodded. Kai, Aqua and the others came forward. They all agreed that Lai was strong. The most current. After the internal tournament, the team realized that their power has increased significantly. But there's still a lot of mystery unsolved. The boy stood on top of a mountain. Look to the distance, where a strange strip of light illuminates from the sky to the ground. What is that? Aqua asked. I don't know, but something's calling us. Kai replied with eyes flashing with determination. Come to me holding an old book. From the kingdom library. He opened up a page with an ancient map. According to legend, it's a mystical land, where the heritage of the gods is kept. Everyone was excited, but Emika was wary. If this is the land of the gods, it means we're going to face challenges it's impossible to imagine. The smiling boy gripped his hand tightly. Then the more it's worth going, the more the journey begins. The group set off towards the far side, where they'll discover things they've never seen before, and face new enemies, stronger than ever before. After days of moving through dense forests, the endless steppes, and overcome many small challenges along the way, CAI group finally reached the borders of the mystical land. In front of them was a huge wall of fog. It's so thick it can't be seen through. From the inside, there's a strange howling wind. It's as if something's lurking. Doesn't feel right at all. Who touched me? If you don't, you know what's inside. I step forward and touch the fog. A cold stream of energy running through your body. As soon as the boy touches, a voice echoing through space. Those who carry elemental power. You guys. Ready to face the challenge of the gods. The whole group looked at each other in the eyes of the AI, and there was determination. We didn't come here to retreat. Like the light from your hands shining, as opposed to the thick black fog. So let's step in. But remember, no one can come back until the challenge is completed. The words just cleared the fog as if they were torn apart. Opens a path into the endless darkness. Take a deep breath and look at your team. No one hesitates, everyone goes inside together. As soon as they set foot across the gate boundary, the fog closed behind me. Stop all the way back. As soon as the Kai group entered the fog, the space around them completely transformed. They're no longer standing on the familiar ground. It's in a desolate field, full of the ruins of an ancient civilization. The giant statues crumbling. The temples were covered in Leo wires and traces of the ancient battles that spread everywhere. This place feels very familiar. Emika puts her hand on another stone, ancient letters. Light gives out a small light, illuminating the characters. He stared at them for a moment and then spoke up. It's the language of the ancient gods. It's about a kingdom, cursed by the gods themselves, for betraying the laws of the world. That's your boy. This could be where the elemental mysteries is hidden. I can't think about it, the ground suddenly shakes. From the cracks a stream of darkness rises, to form strange entities with glowing eyes. Intruders without AI are allowed to survive. The creatures of darkness are coming. Kai's group immediately entered the fight. The dark entities. Unlike any enemy the Kai group has ever faced. They not affected by normal attacks. And it can regenerate itself after being cut off. You can't keep fighting like this. We have to find their weaknesses. Who will scream when you see a monster? I've just been frozen by my ice. Reborn immediately. Aqua looked closely and realized. They don't have a fixed shape. They exist because of the energy of this land. Lai closed his eyes focus. After a few seconds, he opened his eyes and said, only light can erase this darkness. You rush ahead. Concentrate all the power of your light. It creates a sacred light, covering the entire area. The darkness screams and disappears. Return the silence to the wasteland. CAI group breathed a sigh of relief. But before they could rest, a giant stone door suddenly opened in front of them. The stone door that led the CAI team to a giant temple. Deep inside the ruins. Inside the temple is a large hall, with 7 giant statues of gods. Each statue represents an element of fire. Country, wind, thunder, light, and darkness. In the middle of the hall, it's a big pedestal with a glistening jewel. When the boy comes near, a voice echoing through space. Those who carry within them elemental power. If you want to go further, prove yourself to the challenge of the gods. The whole group was immediately divided. Each person is pulled into a different space, where they face their own challenges. Kai is thrown into a vast sea of fire. In front of you, a giant warrior with armor of fire appeared. My eyes are red. Do you really deserve the fire that you own? I didn't wait for Kai to answer. The warrior came to unleash extremely powerful blows. Kai dodged and responded, but realized that the enemy's fire can consume his own fire. Fire is not only power, but will. Kai remembers her battles. You've overcome your fears. You stand up from the ashes. You focus all your power. Make the fire in you burn. More than ever. We're not just fire users. I am the fire. An explosive punch that consumed the fire warrior. The door opens, allowing the ear to move forward. Aqua is surrounded by an endless ocean. A voice comes up. Do you really understand the power of water? Right then, a giant tsunami came and swept Aqua away. She's trying to control the water to stop it, but realized that it's uncontrollable. Water is not to control, but to adapt. Aqua relax body harmony into the water instead of trying to resist it. Immediately, you can control the ocean around you. Turn it into a weapon of destruction. When Aqua completely mastered the challenge, the space around you disappears. And she went back to the hall. Each member has their own challenges, related to his element. Shirt to face a giant earthquake. Learn how to be a solid foundation. Trapped in a storm. We have to figure out how to control lightning, without letting it destroy itself. Who touched to fight a monster? The ice cannot be frozen. Realize that ice is not just cold. It's about perseverance. Lion who face the challenge of light and darkness. Understand that two opposites don't have to destroy each other. It can be balanced. Emika must protect a forest from destruction. Learn to connect more deeply with nature. After all the challenges, they return to the hall, where the jewel on the pedestal begins to glow. When Group K touches the jewel, a wave of energy radiating. Each one feels the elemental power within himself is being amplified to multiply. But at that moment, the central statue cracked. A strange entity stepped out, carrying a terrifying air. Who dares to wake me up? Kai and his team stand back ready to fight. This adventure has just begun. When the CAI group cranes into the jewel, a wave of energy radiating. Everyone feels the power. The element in me is being searched to multiply. But at that moment the central statue cracked. An unknown practical step, carrying a terrifying air. Who woke me up? Boys and boys are backed up ready to fight. From the fracturing statue that can be done the highest, covered in alternating light and darkness. The snow has eyes that burn like two suns. The voice echoed like thunder. I am Astra, the last gatekeeper of the divine treasure. If you want to have this power, prove yourself. Immediately. Assessment launching a flow of energy to create. Kai's group is pushed back. Kai shouted, everyone fight hard. Risk is not the usual enemy. The whole group plunged into battle. Each of you is going all out to confront Astra. No matter how strong they are. Astra is still. Standing still in the end is no deep wound. They realized they couldn't beat Astra by a single attack. Lai spoke up. Experience is the reality of balance. Only if we coordinate perfectly. Only then can we win. Each member uses its own element to combine with others. The boys and Aqua create a continuous fire. A superheated fire. T-shirt and T-shirt combined into a havoc forever. Creates lightning through the solid ground. Light and who use absolute light. Let light and darkness become one. The most reasonable energy makes Astra slow down. You have proven the balance. The divine power is yours. Astra dissolves, leaving a bright gate open. The group walked through the gate and appear in a magical land. Holy land element. Here are 7 conditions that can be redundant. Excess emitting pure energy. And when the group spits on them, their bodies are full of power. The elemental marks on them glowed. Cai can feel the fire god foot. Aqua fire can control ocean currents forever. Everyone's evolving their power to a new level. But I didn't enjoy the new power. An earthquake echoed. A voice from nowhere. This power is not just a blessing, it's a word. An ancient soul appears. In the form of an old Zen god. With deep eyes. You can become a savior. Or war of destruction. An ancient force that's more infectious than Neret. Let's get ready before the Kai team responds. The soul disappears, leaving a sense of insecurity in their hearts. Kai's group leaves the Holy Land and returns to the real world. But as soon as they came back, a shock news alien transmission. A kingdom that was wiped out overnight. When they arrived at the scene, all that's left is ashes and darkness. A letter re-established amid the rubble. The strongest come to the Black City. Otherwise the world will sink into chaos. No one knows where the Black City is. But they know one thing, a new enemy has emerged. Kai's group begins the search for the Dark City. Along the way, they face many challenges. They have to cross the invisible desert, where it's not constantly changing. Meet an ancient tribe, who revealed that the Black City used to be the center of a civilization is haunted. Confront an army of monsters. Those who are controlled by darkness. Discover the gate that leads to the Black City. But to expand it, they must fight an ancient dragon. After a dramatic battle, the Cai team took down the dragon and opened the gate to the Black City. But as soon as you walk in, they realized a horrible truth. The Black City is not just a kingdom. It's a living entity. Group of boys exploring this strange city, where every street, every building is breathing. They found out that this kingdom used to be a place where the power of all the elements was concentrated. But for some reason, it was Buddha and became a deep dark puddle. During the investigation, they are ambushed by a mysterious group of warriors. The suicide bomber is the Black Guard, the wrong hand of the ruler of the Black City. A voice from above. Things are finally coming. I've been waiting for a long time. Out of the darkness comes a man, dressed in a black armor. Eyes as deep as the black universe. I am the Noxic Dark Lord. Boy Fist Boo. He was the one who destroyed the kingdom. Noxic just laughed. I'm just the beginning. The real nightmare is yet to come. Noxic is not a normal enemy. Parking is not only the power of darkness. It can also manipulate other people's elements. Turn the power of Kai's group into a weapon. Against themselves. Ilike and his teammates try to fight. But the power of control is overwhelming. Until they come together again. It creates a mixed world. They can imprison Noxic in a space. Temporary but beat only cold laugh. Things can't stop us forever. It's just a matter of time. The K team knows they can't stay long. Noxic is not yet fully standardized. They have 2 choices. Find a way to seal the Black City forever. To prevent the roof from teaching violence. Find the source of HS power and destroy it. The boy looked at his partner and said, "We can't run away forever. It's time to end this once and for all." After temporarily sealed Noxic, Kai's group gathered to discuss the next step. Aqua frowned. If we can't destroy Noxic right now, no matter where you run, he will also come back stronger. He nods, but if he jumps in without a plan, we will be crushed by him. There is a way. We need to find the source of his power. Everything has a weakness. After looking at what they've learned, they've discovered an important clue. Noxic is not a normal entity. He was created from an ancient source of power that once belonged to the elemental sanctum itself. And there's only one place that can reveal this secret. Celestial Library. Celestial Library. Not in the normal world. It's protected by a mysterious people who held knowledge for thousands of years. The K team began their journey towards the Celestia Mountains. Where is the gate? The only way to the library. But when we get there, they're stopped by the Celestia Guardians, the immortal warriors guarding the gate. Only those with a pure heart and strong determination just walked in. Everyone has to overcome a personal challenge to prove yourself. Each member faces a challenging illusion. Kai's mind has to face himself, where your ego is asking questions. Can your fire be saved? Or just bring destruction? Aqua confronts her abandoned past. It forces you to learn to forgive and let go of your pain, to witness the prospect of his comrades being destroyed. Test your faith in your own abilities. You have to choose between absolute light and absolute darkness. But you realize that nothing. There is absolutely only balance. After passing the test, the gate opens and takes them to the Library of Heaven. Inside the library they met Orion, an immortal librarian who's lived for thousands of years. He revealed that Noxic was a god, but cursed for betraying the other elements. He's trying to absorb all the elemental power. He alone led to his own downfall. But the most dangerous thing is, Noxic cannot be destroyed by conventional means. If you kill him, he'll be reborn from the darkness. The only way to stop him is separating the elemental power from his body. To know the truth, Kai's group discusses Aqua's plan. We've got to knock every element out of him. But if he is that strong, how can we get close? The light we need. A long battle weakens him, Kai. And when the time comes, we've stripped him of his power. Orion gave them the seal. An object can temporarily absorb the element of Noxic. When knocked out, Kai's group returned to the Black City, where Noxic is slowly breaking the seal. As soon as they come to the darkness from the Black City, boom, and Noxic reappears stronger than ever. I knew you'd come back. But this time you have no chance. The tree rushed in with the fire god Footfire. But Noxic is easy to stop. Aqua summons the eternal ocean current. But the water is swallowed by darkness. Try to bring out the gods of the world. But Noxic counterattacked with a stronger lightning strike. He's too strong, but the Kai don't give up. They started to coordinate. Gradually dislodge part of the power from Noxic. Sealed treasure begins to absorb energy. It's lost in parts. The roof is getting weaker. If he roars, you think you can beat me. I am the embodiment of eternal darkness. But Kai realized something. Noxic is still a part of humanity. Kai, you're not a monster. You used to be a god. Give up the darkness. Nox trembled but then brushed off the shelf. Shut up. We don't need light. He gathered all the remaining darkness. Prepare to unleash absolute destruction. Kai light Aqua. Tom and Tom together for the last time. They unleashed the ultimate mix technique. It's a combination of all the elements. The roof is caught up in the bright light. It's impossible for him to scream. And then he melts and the darkness begins to collapse. When everything settles down, a group of men stood in the ruins of the Black City. They won. But boys know that the world is not really at peace. Looking at the horizon. You said, Cho, we beat Noxic. But how many more mysteries are waiting? Kai's group left the Black City. Enter a new chapter of adventure. An era ends and a new era begins. After the battle with Noxic, Kai's group decided to break up temporarily. To return to everyone's homeland. Where they have unfulfilled obligations and responsibilities. Kay looked at everyone smiling. This is not the end, this is a new chapter. We each have our own path. But we'll meet again. Aqua nodded. No matter where we go, we are still teammates. Goodbye to each other. To begin the journey back to his homeland. Return to Fire Nation. Where it was destroyed by war. The ruins are still there. But people have started to rebuild. When you show up, the villagers were stunned and burst into joy. The fire god Cai is back. Now I see my master, Master Fire, Master Riku. smiling, "You are much stronger. But fire doesn't just have power. It's about willpower and responsibility." Kai spends time helping people. Teach them how to control firebending and protect their homeland. But there's still a question in your heart. Is this really my way? Aqua landed in the deep blue waters of the sea, where she left off to pursue the warrior path. When she returned, she faced her father, the king of the sea. The king of the sea is back at last. "What did you find on land?" Aqua on her knees, but with steady eyes. "I found myself. I'm not just a princess, but also a warrior." The king of the sea nods. "So prove it." Aqua has to go through a new challenge. Control Lin Tui Long, mythical creature of the sea. After days of training, you succeed. To be the first to tame the dragon. After hundreds of years. Back to the country. A kingdom on the islands. Hovering in the sky. Your people welcome you as a legend. But I only care about one thing. To confront your grandfather's great-grandfather. The Lord looks at you with eyes. Strictly, you are stronger. Do you have the right to inherit the country? Not clenching your fist. There is only one way to prove it. The two brothers are engaged in a terrible battle. The thunder tore through the sky. Even though he is wicked, he still stands up. And in the end, he pulled out the perfect verdict. A technique. But even the king must admit it. He didn't just win his grandfather's recognition. He was also given the title of heir to the nation. Return to the Holy Kingdom, where the saints cai manage the balance of the world. But when he returned, he realized something was wrong. The Holy Kingdom is in disarray. The elders are worried about the future. Because of the collapse of Noxic. That caused the new elements rolling to change. Supreme Leader Airlines. You are the only one with light and darkness. You can be the savior or the destroyer. Lai understands that his responsibility is not over. You spend time studying your own power. Trying to control the photographic mixture. It's your unique power. But you still have a question in your heart. Do I really belong to the light? Who is back? The kingdom hidden deep in the mountains, where the most powerful warriors were born. The chief welcomes you, but at the same time challenge you. We only recognize the strong. If you really are the greatest warrior, let's prove it. Who must face the Bloodstone Challenge, where you have to fight with the 100 best warriors of the tribe, one by one, who did not back down. The strength of soil is not just in solidity. It's about perseverance. After 3 days and 3 nights of relentless fighting, who was the last one standing? Who officially became an elder? Youngest of the country. After many months, each one has completed his own mission. One day a mysterious message arrived in their hands. Let's meet in the Holy Kingdom. A new danger is coming. No need to say a word. They all know that their destiny is not over. They're on their way. Prepare for a new chapter of adventure. When the group gathered in the Holy Kingdom, they realize this place is in chaos. These are unusual earthquakes. The sky is red. And these strange creatures are all over the place. The Supreme Elder summoned the Kai group and spoke in a worried voice. The world is out of balance. The collapse of Noxic is just the beginning. An older force is awakening the spirit of chaos. You're a primordial entity that's existed since the beginning. Who was sealed deep in the chaos. A land on the edge of the world. But the seal is weakening. And if you wake up completely, the world will become nothing. To learn more about this, CAI Group decided to enter the mixed world. A land of taboos, where only the strongest can survive. But as soon as you walk in, they're attacked by these strange dark creatures. Mixed world animals. Monsters that don't have a certain shape. Continuously transform and absorb the surrounding energy. I realized that normal flames can't burn them. Aqua can't control the water in this space. And felt his lightning power being disturbed. Only Liv, who carries in himself both light and darkness. They can resist the chaos. You use the photonic composite to pave the way. Help the team get deeper into the center. At the center of the chaos, CAI team finds a forgotten ancient city, where ancient records of nuns are kept. There they met an old prophet, the last man alive after thousands of years. Old prophet, you're too late. You are slowly waking up. But there's one last chance. You said you were sealed by 5 great gods. But over time, 4 of them were destroyed. There is only the Antonic sword. 7 lost in the land of the dead. If they can find Antonic, they can seal it again. Before he fully woke up. But what's more terrifying? You know about their presence. When Kai's group left the world, they were stopped by a stranger, your messenger elephant. The elephant is a warrior in a black coat. No face, just an endless void. But do you really think you can stop it? He can't be sealed, he can just devour everything. Without a word, he launched his first attack. A fierce battle broke out. But the CA team quickly realized. Elephants cannot be defeated by attacks. Normally every blow goes through him. As if he didn't exist. Lai is the only one who can touch elephants. By Tiger Raw Kwong photo. But he also felt his power drained. Every time they attack, Kai notices the unfavorable situation and orders a retreat. The elephant didn't chase, just stood there and whispered. Your time is running out. After getting rid of elephants, group Kai to the land of the dead. It's said to hold the Antonic sword. But this place is unlike any they've ever seen. It's a ruined world, where the wandering soul is never at rest. Cursed spirits attack them. But Aqua uses the power of the dragon spirit to create a protective barrier. After days of searching, they finally found the Antonic sword into a giant slab of rock. But when Kai tried to draw the sword, a voice echoing through your mind. Do you really deserve this sword? Suddenly, the whole world around him disappears and Kai is dragged into an illusion. Kai finds himself standing in the middle of a fiery battlefield, where versions of your past appear. From a weak child to a warrior as strong as he is now. These versions are constantly attacking you. Force you to face all your fears, doubt and 7 failures in the past. Only if you accept the whole person. Both strength and weakness. The Antonic sword god recognized you as its owner. Kai wakes up with a tennis in his hands. I feel an endless source of power. It flows in my body. As soon as the Kai group left the land of the dead, the elephant is waiting. Let you think that if you get the sword, you can win. This time Kai uses a tennis to fight. And the magic happens. The elephant is hurt. The battle dragged on and the elephants were finally defeated. But before he died, he just laughed. You still don't understand. You have awakened. When the CAI returned to the Holy Kingdom, they witnessed a horrible scene. The sky is torn apart and Ni is waking up. The lands disappear into nothingness. And even light is attracted to space. Dark. The High Priest gave us only one option. Or destroy it now. Now or let him swallow the whole world. CAI watch teammates Titan Antonic. We will fight. And so the final battle begins. The whole group went into battle with you. The entity of chaos and nothingness. The cracked sky. The ground melted under his terrible power. CAI swinging Antonic sword god. Launched the holy fire mixture. But the fire was immediately devoured. Aqua tries to cover the sky with a barrier. But her water is sucked into infinite space. You're laughing. You're just grains of sand in the stream. The chaos of resistance is meaningless. At the right time, hybrids appear to activate photo-optical composite. Give Kai's group a chance to strike back. Group K realized that the power alone cannot defeat you. They change tactics. T-shirt and T-shirt combine to create lightning. Using lightning to transfer the Earth's energy. Who uses absolute darkness. It creates an antimatter void. To isolate some of your power. Emika and Ice combine plant life and Ice Row. Absolutely slowing down the wide LAN of nothingness. But you don't flinch. He just raised his hand and ripped through space. The broken thing. Group K is all out but still can't overwhelm you. Suddenly the high priest came out. Stand in front of me with steady eyes. Go ahead, children. This is my battle. He activated the time seal. Don't sacrifice your whole life to delay. You roar angrily when you're trapped in the confines. But the seal only lasted an hour. The whole group knows that. This is our last chance to defeat him. Cai can feel the sword Antonis shining. It's like it wants to take you somewhere. The whole group goes on Kai's hunch. And find the remains of the gods. Where the mixture is stored. The Bible tells us how to destroy you forever. According to legend. You can only be defeated by mixed judgment. A technique that unites all the energy of the world. But to use it, one of them has to sacrifice himself completely. Become an endless source of energy for the blow. The whole group was silent in the face of these harsh conditions. Tighten your hands. I'll do that. Lai put his hand on his shoulder and shook his head so that The whole group debated, but Lai decided. You know that you're the bridge. Between light and darkness. Only you can balance the tiger's energy. Original ruling. Even if it hurts, everyone accepts. Before the final battle. The group had a quiet moment together. Aqua Cho Lai Along La Tui Long. An item that protects the soul. Spray Cho Lai Blood Pu Chow. Contains pure thunder power. Cai tightens your hand. See you, my friend. Lai laughed softly. Nothing is the end, forever spicy. It's just a new beginning. The time of the seal is over. You are fully awake. His power makes the whole world shake. Kai and the party plunge into the final battle. Retain Ni to Lai activate mixed raw judgment. When the time comes to decide, the hybrid dissolves into light. Into a tennis and release the judgment mixture. A bright light pierced through this. You're screaming. His body is falling apart. Swallowed up in its own chaos. The world returned to peace. But Lai is gone. After winning. Cai group returned to the Holy Kingdom, but they could not celebrate. The world has lost a hero. People build a memorial for life. Where light and darkness meet. The boy stood in front of the silent Stella. Maybe put the tennis on the ground. You whispered you were right. This is not the end, just a new beginning. After the war. Kingdoms working together to rebuild the world. Kai was invited to be the protector of the Holy Kingdom. But you refuse. You want to continue the journey. Find out. See if there's a way to bring it back to life. Aquatoon. And others have their own choices. But they all promise that. We will always stand together when needed. One day we received a strange signal from a tennis. Its light points in a distant direction. A land that has never been discovered. You know that the journey is not over.